taking a walk, not to blow off some steam, out of sheer discipline, per usual. I just care to dive into this as I'm humbled to be here on episode 58 of JPJ Health and Wellness. There are a couple things I see the domino effect of me speaking about in this moment. Starting off with the mental, the physical aspect, I think I've spoken enough about already. Without saying too much, I'm just in the middle of training. Nothing new, simple. I just had a conversation, and very spiritually enlightening one. Very conscious and conscious of what had been smoking in between parties, and an emotional one, as I believe speaking your heart out, and in this case me speaking my heart out, and without the shame. I don't do that. No shame. I don't subscribe or put that out into the world, and I encourage people to mitigate from most. A few like me will eliminate the shame, the guilt, the fear of punishment of speaking their heart. And it's a tricky web because the heart is a tricky thing and deceiving. And I speak to the few who don't subscribe to any of those three things: the punishment, the guilt, the shame, from a pure heart, such as I. I just had a recent conversation with my sister, and she just slammed the door on me. She doesn't want to hear my shit. She's tired of hearing my shit. But I'm obligated to speak the truth. At all times, always, thoughtfully, in the words I speak, and very mindful. That's not even a question or a doubt. In my spirit, soul, heart, and mind. Talking about, I just want to say one more thing about spiritual, my mindset, as this is JPJ Health and Wellness. So both health and wellness has to do with your mind, space, mindset. Ultimately, your perspective on life. And I am speaking to you guys to talk about how the spiritual aspect of my mind and my life manifesting to the physical, and what I'm attracting. And greatly a huge deal. Hoping and wishing for are being expedited and moving very fast, coming very fast. The process is moving very, it's been hastened, and that's what I care to speak on that. So back to this conversation. speaking a little bit about business and, you know, the definition of an entrepreneur. Someone who does it themselves and builds something of substance for themselves. Being resourceful, etc., etc. At some point, as I understand and I'm aware of my own process, and I have much, much to learn, even though I feel like I understand my process, it's about doing, right? Being able to employ and teach people at some point of how to do what I understand, know, and believe are innate skills to me. But this time very thoughtfully, with patience, and like I said, being mindful is out of the question. That's just there. Really doesn't need to be explained, is it? Sometimes you just really can't. I can, but you know, I just choose and won't. Choose not to and won't. If it's understood, it's understood, you know? She had just said, you know, one, I brought up an example of someone of great value of my life, in my life, who had led me to a source I wasn't paying attention to, didn't really care much for at first, and, you know, didn't find substance or etc., etc. And at first, and has ended up not just, I believe, in some way, shape, and form saving my life, but someone I, just as myself, connect to as someone who cares, gives out their best advice in the field and profession that they are most masterful, and a practitioner and a master of their craft. And I explained that to my sister, and she had said to me, why are you living in the past? In regards to me bringing up that moment in time where I was being introduced by that person in my life to this source to draw inspiration, knowledge, which is power, that breeds understanding, that justifies your knowing, which eliminates the delusion and the ill intent and lack of care most people lead with when they say they know something. And, you know, that's just my testimony, my story, what I'll be telling in the future as I, you know, rise to higher levels of growth and success in the worldly sense, and do prominent and distinct and interviews at the highest levels, telling these stories. Like I said, I'm a practitioner. I'm also a protector. And there's a time and a place for everything. I am a sole believer in timing. And in terms of humility, you know, and confidence, and lack of fear, fearlessness, breeds speed, which allows me to take all the chances as often and as thoughtful as I can in this life. And she had said to me, you know, I said I'm a professional. I'm not just a practitioner of what I say and speak about. If you go over the last 6 months of my content, being in the public, in the world, indulging mindfully, right? Thoughtfully, yes. Consciously, yes. You know, and with self-awareness, hunting God, seeking knowledge, finding it, continuing to draw fresh insight from this gift of the heart I was given, said I'm a professional at what I speak about because all I do is speak about what I understand, know, and I only do and speak about what I love. And in my particular case, it's business. And underneath that umbrella are the things I love just as much as business, for the sake of structure, you know, and infrastructure is underneath that umbrella. And she had said, you know, you're not a professional. And right there at that moment is where we defer and we separate. And I am the biggest advocate, believer, encourager, practitioner of unity, love, harmony, peace, justice, a hater of evil. And it is at that moment I made a decision. And this time I understand why, not just off delusion, but now off I can feel through the understanding and the knowledge and the instinct, which I had knowing, but I had to do and uncover with patience and kindness to get to the truth of the matter, to heed that lesson and master it as I will apply that moment by moment and daily through my endeavors of reaching dream moments, because the business of life, the journey of chasing and trying to attain these things, which I'm sure of, is the win, the success to me. It brings me much joy and happiness to be on this path, simply. And to put it simply, I've been a practitioner of business, doing business, a professional, a master of my craft since I was as young as the age of 4 or 5. And nothing's changed, and nothing will. So, in closing statement, it will be proven to be true in the future, as I am sure of it now, certain that my sister is wrong. Simple. Episode 58, this is of JPJ Health and Wellness. Peace.